Hello, everyone. My name is Todd Norton, and I am the Director of the Project Management Programs for Boise State and the College of Arts and Sciences. Today is August 18th, 2025. I try to record a video every year at the beginning of the year to explain, to update our programs and to update sort of what to announce updates to our programs and just generally to explain them. I like videos because it gives me an opportunity. We have lots of websites for sure about project management programs and most programs actually, but I like videos because it gives us an opportunity to share a little bit more of a narrative approach to things. So I hope that it's helpful. I'm going to keep this video as brief as possible, but I do have quite a few things to explain, so I will try to keep each section brief. Always know that if you have a question about something regarding either the certificate in project management or the bachelor's in project management, feel free to email me. And I'll be showing you a page here in a little bit that has my email on it. So always feel free to email me. And as many of the people in this program can attest, I will happily schedule a meeting. We can get together and talk. So I'm going to go into screen share mode. So if you search for project management at Boise State, you're likely to get something like this. So you can see the online bachelor's in project management, right? So you can scroll through that. I'm going to move some things around on my own screen. You scroll down, you can get a sense of the application process and whatnot. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail about that, but I will bring up the classes and scheduling, which is really what I want to talk about today. So I'm going to scroll down here and just stop right here. So the program is structured like this. So you have sort of four categories of classes. First, you take a fundamentals class, and for that, you can take project management fundamentals from us, supply chain management 435 from the business program, project management design from IPS, or project management start, plan, and run from a College of Innovation and Design. And I'll talk a little bit about that in a minute. And then you take project management 401 and then 450, project management, or so documentation, and then 450, and then you take some experiential learning. I'm just going to pause on that. That's sort of the general structure. And then if you're in the major, you take the capstone. But I'm going to pause on that, and then I'm going to bring up the certificate. So this is the website for the certificate. Similarly, you can scroll down and you can see a similar table. It's actually what I want to talk about. If you notice, these tables are all almost exactly the same. There are slight differences. And so, first of all, the list of classes is basically the same. That was done intentionally because I wanted, and everybody who put this program together wanted students to be able to move from one program to another without a lot of cost. And what I mean by that is cost is in terms of classes that you've already taken that don't apply to the other program. So we imagined, and this has been the case, right, a student entering either in the major or the certificate and then deciding they want to switch over to the other program. And that has happened. And so if you've taken, for example, project management, say you started in the certificate, you took project management 300 and then 401 and then 450, and you decided you wanted to switch over to the major. That's easy to do. You switch over to the major and you just keep right along your way. And you take project management, the internship class, and the only other class that you add is the capstone. There are only two class differences between the major, which is this page, and the certificate, which is this page. For the major, you take, it's a required 12 credits of internship or other experiential learning, and you take the capstone class. You take the capstone class because the University Foundations has a requirement for a finishing foundations course. You don't have to take those. So in the certificate, you can take 3 to 12 credits of internship or other experiential learning. And again, I'll talk about that a little bit more in a second. And you don't take our capstone class, you take a capstone class in your major. You're certainly welcome to take our capstone class, but you're not required to do so. So I'm going to leave that sit for just a minute, and then I'm going to bounce over just to point it out to you. If you want to search for the catalog, this is what the catalog, this is the catalog statement for the bachelor's in project management. And in that same space, you can search for courses. And here's a list of our courses. All right, so project management 300, 401, 450, 451, 485, 493, and 499. And it's actually this sort of clustering of classes that I want to talk about just real briefly. You'll notice these first three, project management 300, 401, and 405, are, excuse me, I'm going to back up to here, 300, 401, and 450, right, are all in both the major and the certificate. And then it's this clustering, of course, is here, internship, practicum, and experiential learning, which we'll talk about in a little bit. Those all fit under another category. And then there's the capstone. You'll also, you may also, if you're looking at the major, for example, you'll notice that there's this link here for project management resource site. And so that is the site I actually am going to spend some time talking about today. There is information that I wanted to be able to make more readily available to you, and that is sort of a narrative approach to the program. And so that's what this site is for. So this is project management, gives you a little idea of sort of what we're up to. These are the program learning outcomes for both, for either the major or the certificate. The learning outcomes are ostensibly the same because the courses are basically the same. The other thing I really wanted, I thought that it was really important to have for a student is what's the course schedule look like? Certainly, I know I like to plan my life out, and so many of the students in our programs, right, are facing a lot of scheduling challenges, and so it was really important to me and everybody who's involved in the program, all the people who teach in the program, that is very predictable, right? And so project management fundamentals, that's the class I teach, is offered in the first 7 weeks of fall, spring, and summer. Allison Garrow teaches Project Management 401 or documentation, and that's offered the second 7 weeks. Sorry, that should say second 7 weeks, not first 7 weeks. That should say second 7 weeks. I've already discovered a typo of fall and spring. Specialization, taught by Justin Baldivia, is taught the second 7 weeks again of fall and spring. And then the capstone, right now we're offering capstone in the summer. We may very well add a spring version of that class. So you'll notice that these are all clustered together because these are all 7-week courses. The other clustering of courses is what falls under experiential learning classes, and that includes project management practicum, experiential learning, and internship. And these are all semester-long classes. So I actually want, if you scroll down, we'll talk a little bit about each one of those. This is a brief outlook or overview of each of the core classes, Project Management 300, 401, 450, and 499. This is required for the major, not for the certificate. So that gives you a brief overview of what we cover in each one. The idea is, and this is actually worked out, we just finished teaching the first iteration of our capstone class, and one of the things that we ask people to do is just give us feedback on the program overall. And pretty unanimously, everybody said they really appreciated the applicability of the what they learned in the classroom to their work in project management in their field. And those students are working in a variety of fields. So the next area, which is a little bit complicated, and I want to spend a little bit more time on it, but it's complicated for a reason. It's complicated because each student, almost every student in this program or in these programs faces a little different situation. Some people are brand new to project management. Some people have been working in project management for many years, maybe from military experience or working in real estate or construction, information technology, those sorts of things, right? And so people are entering in the program with a wide range of experiences, and they have different needs. So we have basically 3 courses that you can fulfill. If you remember, if you're in the certificate, you have 3 required classes, or 3 required credits, I should say, 3 credits of required experiential learning. And if you're in the major, you have 12. The idea behind that, though, is always that we were trying to be as supportive as possible in the program. So you really have 3 options. The first is Project Management 451, and that's practicum. And so in this case, you work with Daniel Humans, and you build a project management plan based on projects that he has actually overseen. So this is a fantastic class. This is a new class this year. If any of you watching this video were in the program last year or this last year, you may recall I sent an email and asked everybody if they wanted another option to fulfill the internship or the experiential learning requirement, and the answer was overwhelmingly yes. And this is our approach or a solution or a response to that. And so we actually, right, we're developing a class. Dan's going to teach a class that's focused very specifically on building a project management plan using actual projects that he has experience with. And then I'm going to jump over on the right-hand side of this column, and that is in Project Management 493 or 493U, and that is internship or work U. One of the things you'll notice this year, right? So internship has been on the books, right, since the beginning of the program, as it is for most programs. 493U is new this year because what we had was a number of students who were finding WorkU project management experience opportunities that really that were under WorkU, and so we created that course, and so that's an option, and so that's there. Project Management 485 is not a class you're ever going to see on the schedule. And so what it is imagine for a second that you have some project management experience in your background and you would like to apply for that experience, that what we call prior learning. So it's called credit for prior learning. You'd like to apply for that prior learning to count as credit in your program. So let's imagine you worked in, say, real estate projects for some time, or you worked in some other industry, whatever it might be, and you'd like to apply for credit. And so what you do is you sign up for IPS 301 with Baker Lawley, you complete a portfolio, and then you submit that portfolio when we give you credit for the amount of time that you've had. And that's, we don't need to get into the details of that, but that's the basic idea of the class, excuse me. Because of university regulations, I can't give you internship credit through credit for prior learning. It's not allowed. So what we did is we created Project Management 485, Project Management Experiential Learning, to acknowledge that credit, that prior learning that you have coming into the program. And so imagine, for example, let's say that you worked on a project for 6 months, right? And you worked a certain number of hours and you want to apply for 3 credits or 6 credits of that internship, right? And so you'd go through the process, you sign up for IPS 301 with Mr. Baker Lawley, and you would finish the portfolio, submit that to him. He helps you finish it out. We approve it, send it to the registrar, and you would get 3 or 6 credits, or whatever the case may be, of credit for prior learning. So that's the general idea. I wanted to mention that because occasionally I get emails asking when Project Management 485 is going to be scheduled, and you will never see it on the books. It's there to take the place of internship. So the bottom line of that is we have lots of opportunities and lots of ways for you to complete your experiential learning / internship requirement for the program. I have certainly had students, right? 3 credits is required for the certificate, but I've had a number of students who completed more than that, in part because they would like to run their project management experience through a process and get that form taken care of, because we use the same form in that, whether you're doing internship, project management practicum, or the experiential learning course, we use the same sort of form that you would use to prep your information to submit to PMI for your CAPM or PMP certification. Just a real quick note on right, to end things out. First and foremost, right, if you have any questions, always feel free to send me an email. I'm happy to meet. We can schedule a Zoom meeting and we'll get that taken care of, right? I want to make sure I'm as responsive as possible to you. Also, strongly recommend that you join Project Management Institute. The membership is quite reasonable. I know money can be tight. I think the student memberships are exceptionally reasonable. I haven't checked into those in the last few months or so, but the last I checked, they were quite reasonable. And part of that is you get access to a variety of resources, professional opportunities, and so on and so forth, right? You can also, if you join PMI, join the Western Idaho chapter of PMI. I recognize that not all of you are in the Treasure Valley area, right? And so whether it's our local or regional chapter or a chapter in your particular area, I would urge you to join the chapter, in part because it gives you some networking opportunities, professional development opportunities, so on and so forth. So that's a quick rundown of the project management programs. Once again, my name is Todd Norton. Send me an email if you have any questions. I am 100% happy to, I'll do my best to respond right away. If we need to, we'll schedule a meeting, and really appreciate it. Y'all have a good day.